So, I'll just start out by saying, both personally and on behalf of our organization, I just want to express our condolences to Dwight's family. Tremendous loss. With about 5 years ago with my mother-in-law, I watched her go through and ultimately succumb to that disease. It's brutal, but I think the grace with which I was fortunate and blessed just to feel a little bit of that Dwight took on the challenge, and how that smile always stayed on his face, and that positive attitude. I think he brought a ton of awareness to the disease, and just I think just with a tremendous amount of grace and fight, he did it the best he could. And I think the one thing that's been impressed upon me since I've been here, I think just the love that this community and this fan base had for Dwight. You think of Ronnie and you think of Jerry, but what I learned when I came here is that Dwight's right there, and obviously the iconic plays, but I think also Keena did a great job, and I think it was really appropriate today. Kyle asked Keena to come up and say a few words about what Dwight meant and why he's such a part of this organization's history and great history, iconic history. Obviously the play, but it was much deeper than that. It's kind of what he stood for, and he always prepared for excellence, is what Keena talked about. And so that play wasn't just an accident. It was the product of his constant preparation, the standard that he set for himself and for his teammates, and then the fact that he just loved every day, and that was contagious. And so I think he really kind of embodies what that whole generation of players were about. And I know from being around him, I think, gosh, in my second week on the job, Jed asked him to come up. And I had met Dwight a few times, but Jed asked him to come up. And I think there were some parallels, him coming from the player route into that role that that he served. And we just talked and we visited and talked about his challenge, and I gave him my best. But really, he was more there for me, and just talking about some pointers and whatnot. And I always value that. And on one other occasion, went down with Keena to one of those lunches down in Capitola, and laughed the entire time, because he made us laugh. And it's just a treat to get to know him just a little bit. And I think we grieve like everyone else.
Can you share a little bit of what his advice was to you?
His advice was trust your instincts. Football, and it's very similar to what John Elway told me, who came from a similar path. Don't make this more than it is. Hire good people around you, and then like you'd expect out of Dwight, also have some fun doing this. It should be fun. This is football. You had fun playing. Have some fun in this role. Don't take it too seriously, and so that will always stick with me.
John, that time was pretty special as far as the bond that was created among those players, and obviously Keena very well. Is that kind of the goal that you're trying to build here, is make this a family?
Yeah, and I think we're always very careful. Those guys earn that. We have to earn it. So we know, hey, we're not, when we ask these guys to be around, it's not to try to use them for anything other than a great example of what we strive to be. And we really know that we have to go create that ourselves. But gosh, when those guys come out here, and we showed a film today, and I think the guys really enjoyed that. I think they really enjoyed Keena talk about his teammate and why he was so important to their turnaround and their becoming champions. And told a great story that he was just a kind of a throwaway. Bill went to watch a quarterback, and he was the guy that showed up as the receiver. And next thing you know, he became a really big part of this, of a tremendous turnaround, and part of an iconic team here for years that will always be remembered as one of the great teams. So.
Did you say you watched a film today about Dwight?
Yeah, we had, I think we asked Bob to grab a little film. I'm reminded every day when these guys, they know like the last 5 years, and so I think they've all seen and heard of The Catch, but it was a nice little film. I think Kyle had some nice words for him, but the biggest thing was Keena talking and I thought he did just nailed it in terms of the right approach, and how Dwight could be an example for all of them and for this team as we move forward.
Thanks.
Last one, guys. I realize it just happened, but are there any plans, as far as something on the uniform or anything
Yeah.
this year?
We're talking about a lot of things. You know, I know Al Guido is talking with the league about what we can do, and I know there's always approval there. But I promise you, we'll come up with a nice way to honor him. I think not only nice but fitting. He deserves it. He's earned it. You know, I talked about how beloved he is with this fan base, and he earned that. And so I think we'll do the right thing and be happy to do so.
All right, thanks.